Welcome, guys. Good evening, and welcome to the show. Tonight is going to be an amazing night as we begin, discussing in-depth analysis of games that took place over, the weekend in the major leagues, all around the world. My name is Bishop, and this is Bowie Sports Arena. Don't forget to leave your comments, on the comment section of this live broadcast, and we are going to be taking either your questions, reading out your comments, your contributions, and share. Now invite your friends. Let's discuss football as it begins tonight. Now we had beautiful games that took place all over the weekend, all around the globe, in the five basic major leagues in Europe, and all other ones that are still coming up. You had the English Premier League, the Italian Serie A, the Spanish La Liga, the French Ligue 1. And like I told you at the beginning of this whole show, we're going to be visiting a little bit the Dutch Eredivisie, because we have some very good teams now coming up from the Dutch league, into limelight. Now I believe you're here, so I'm going to be saying welcome again. Tonight we are going to go on a journey, and I can assure you it will be amazing. Wow, so good to have every one of you here. I want to welcome you. I see Emily is here. Emily Chukwueke, welcome. Daniel Ajuku from Port Harcourt, you're welcome. Chukwemeka Naji from the city of Warri. And then Messi Rukebe, good evening. Shida Fyong is here. Izegbo Befu. Misa Afo, okay, Ogenepokwapa, Ifan Chuku Miracle. Blessing of Yasi, let her comfort. Timmy is on for the favor for Joku. Mecca Edinri, I'm expecting to hear a lot of things from you guys today. Ikena Basi, Emmanuel Daniel, Gilenzo, Charles, and Godfrey Owen. Welcome on board to Bowie Sports Arena. All right, let's begin. That players are being bought left, right, and center all over the world to play for different club sides, and some club sides are already having beautiful things to do with their latest signings. Some signings have been unlucky, getting injured in their very first match of the season, while others, like Chelsea, have signed the whole world, even signed players from Nigeria, from Warri Wolves, signed everybody they can sign from everywhere, spent a lot of money, and they are not having headway. They look worse than they were when they began, after signing close to 10 players and letting 11 go. As of today, Chelsea has signed a new goalkeeper again from America, and they are planning to also sign Balogun from Arsenal. What is going on with Chelsea? If you're a Chelsea fan in the house, I want to hear your comments. What do you think is the issue with Chelsea? Somebody says, the former owner of Chelsea, the way he was trusted and thrown out of England, he laid a curse on Chelsea FC after spending so much money to making Chelsea who they are, and they let him go like that and took all his money through his account. And he said, Chelsea will never succeed. In Africa, we say they swear for Chelsea, but we don't know yet whether or so it be. We're going to go deep into it now, but I'm going to drop in a question for you to answer. First of all, I want to see it on the comment section on the page. Do you think, with all the signings Chelsea have made, and with the new coach they have, and with the new owner spending almost £1 billion, do you think Chelsea will make the top 4 of the English Premier League this season? Let me see your comments. Let me see your contributions. I want to see your arguments. Give me what you think. And I'm going to read it. I'm telling you that this man said Chelsea will make it top 4. By the end of the season, we'll visit it again and see if you got it correctly, or if Chelsea will be out of it. All right. Now let's go deep now into the English Premier League. It all began on Friday. On Friday, Nottingham Forest hosted Sheffield United, and that game ended 2-1, in favor of Nottingham Forest. And the Nigerian international, Taiwo Awoniyi, got his second goal in 2 games. Don't forget, he got a fantastic goal against Arsenal, giving them the equalizer until they lost that game to Arsenal. And now in the second game in the season, he scored the first goal, in the 3rd minute of that game against Nottingham Forest. And they got an equalizer for Sheffield United. Don't forget, now 2 teams who are playing that are new. Sheffield just came back now from Division 1, got promoted to the English Premier League, and they had to face Nottingham Forest, who narrowly survived relegation last season. Awoniyi got in the first goal in the 3rd minute, and Hammer getting the equalizer in the 48th minute, and Chris Wood in the 89th minute getting the winning goal for Nottingham Forest. And that was how the English Premier League began, for the weekend. It was on Saturday that we had some mouth-watering games, amazing games. Like we say, Peter Emmanuel is back and he's laughing at Chelsea. And in my favor, Afodiaku just said now Chelsea will not qualify for the top 4. Dante Biteza says Chelsea signed Yahoo Boys. Now, in case you're not Nigerian, we mean Chelsea signed some very amazing people who don't know how to play football. That's what it means when they say Yahoo players. And also, Queen said, I don't think so. Lawrence, welcome to the show. Behind they say Chelsea signed Abad United and Yahoo Boys, and the list goes on. Taiwo Winnie will score 15 plus goals this season if he stays fit. We're going to get there. We're going to be asking some questions about Nigerian strikers as we go. Don't forget to Victor Osimhen began, the Italian Serie A by banging in 2 goals for Napoli when they played against their opponent. That man is on top form. He's on fire. Do you think he should leave before the window closes and leave that team and go to England or go to Arab, where we paid almost £1 billion every week? All right. Let's go back now to what happened on Saturday in the English Premier League. Now, I'm going to be giving you the list of the games. Then we'll pick that one by one and discuss these games. Now, Fulham, at home, lost 3-0 to Brentford. This Brentford side is a team that people don't really understand. They are so solid, no big names, no superstars. Even lost their striker now, who missed out on England's go to the World Cup now, Ivan Toney. But they are still playing and playing very well. Went away to the Fulham Stadium in London, what they call the Cottage Stadium, and beat Fulham by 3 goals to nothing at home. Now, Liverpool hosted AFC Bournemouth, and they won that game at Anfield 3 goals to 1. We're going to come back to that game shortly. Wolverhampton Wanderers are not playing very well, and they lost at home to a Brighton and Hove Albion side by 4 goals to 1 at home. We saw this weekend where teams at home lost massive games. Massive scorelines, 4 goals to 1 at home, 3-0, to their players at home. It's unheard of. And now also we have Tottenham Hotspur hosted Manchester United, and they lost that game. Manchester United lost by 2 goals to nothing. And the late kickoff on Saturday evening, Manchester City managed to win against Newcastle United by 1 goal to nothing. Now, let's look at the Liverpool clash. Liverpool playing against AFC Bournemouth. Now, there was magic in that game. Liverpool were a shadow of themselves. They really do well. Had every single player they bought on the field of play. But somebody stood out for me. Dominic Szoboszlai, played that game very well. And they also have Alexis McAllister. He was given a red card in that game. But as of this evening now, the FA has rescinded the red card given to Alexis McAllister. He said it was not a straight red, so that red card has been cancelled, and he will be playing and made available now for Liverpool's weekend fixtures this weekend. All right, 3 goals to 1. Liverpool taking on what? AFC Bournemouth. Now, Luis Diaz was injured last season, and he didn't play for many months, and he was heartbroken. A new signing coming to England to prove himself, to see I can be among the best in the world, and he got a very bad injury, and now he was back playing preseason, and he is now like a new signing because he is back banging in the goals. He scored the first goal against Chelsea last weekend, and now this weekend again, I just passed now, he got the first goal again for Liverpool. In the 27 minutes, Luis Diaz banged that beautiful goal. Just an overhead kick, what they call somersault kick, where we came from, and that was it. And Salah also added it to make it 2-1 to Liverpool in the 36th minute after Casper Semenyo got the lead for Bournemouth at Anfield in the 3rd minute. I thought, we are back again. Is this how Liverpool is going to go this season? Conceding goals when they are not prepared. Virgil van Dijk, I think, now is beginning to go out of his prime. He was not in that game. He was basically blaming Konate because they didn't know what to do. Alexander-Arnold is now beginning to imitate what John Stones is doing for Man City by coming into midfield and giving the issues to the team playing on the right back. So Liverpool was busy shaking. They conceded first, but they came back after 24 minutes in the goal from Luis Diaz, and Salah got the second goal, and that was how they went into halftime. 2 goals to 1 for Liverpool. And they played, the game was dry, it was tough, it was tactical, it was hard for Liverpool, but they kept on pressing. And in the 62nd minute now, Diego Jota, got the 3rd goal for Liverpool to give them breathing space in that game against AFC Bournemouth. But the talking point of that game was in the 58th minute when Alexis McAllister was given a matching order, a straight red by the referee for the night, and that was it. And we saw the new signing for Liverpool now. Endo from Germany came in and did a very good job, putting a good shift for Liverpool, but they managed to win that game by 3-1. Let's look at also another game by Brighton and Hove Albion beating Wolverhampton Wanderers at home by 4-1. Now, Brighton have the record now for the highest ever signing fee for a player in the English Premier League. Moises Caicedo was sold to Chelsea for £115 million. And Brighton have a knack for finding young talent, finding players who you don't know, training them up and selling them. I'll give you a rundown. Alexis McAllister was relatively unknown. He came to Brighton, was sold to Liverpool. Now you have Moises Caicedo sold to Liverpool. Don't forget, Leandro Trossard playing for Arsenal, almost won the league last season, was sold to Arsenal from Brighton and Hove Albion. They have a knack for getting players. Don't forget also, the man with the wig is called Manuel Cucurella. You know the name? Cucurella. So to Chelsea also 2 seasons ago from Brighton and Hove Albion. They buy players for 5 million, sell them for 17 million. They make good money because they have a very good scouting system. But that is not it. They seem to have a very amazing and fantastic squad who are filled with young boys 19, 20, who are not afraid to play football. They went away to the Wolverhampton Wanderers Stadium, and won 4-1. Karu Mitoma. I am wondering by now, all the top 5 teams in English Premier League should be fighting to hold that man's signature. He was the best player also last season for Brighton and Hove Albion. He began a game with a very beautiful solo goal. This guy ran from his own midfield and ran through dribble almost 7 players and scored a pretty decent, amazing, fantastic, fantabulous goal to open that game in the 15th minute for Brighton and Hove Albion. Estupiñán, a beautiful left-footed player, also got the second goal in the 46th minute. And also Sulimac, a resurgent left-footed player now coming in for Brighton and Hove Albion, also made it 3 and 4 consecutively. It was 4-0 per time, but in the 61st minute, he scored the only consecutive goal now for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and that was how they won that game away at home from home to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Brighton and Hove Albion, the second team to get 6 points in the league. Don't forget, they're topping the league right now, a relatively unknown squad doing mighty work in this Premier League. Now, the EPL kept the best games for last. They kept the senior boys, who they call the big boys in the English Premier League. Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, Man City, and the newcomers on board, Newcastle United, who are eating money from the Arab world, to play the last 2 games on Saturday evening. And it was Tottenham Hotspur at the City of Tottenham Stadium hosting Manchester United. That game was an amazing game, but we saw a dismal performance from the Red Devils. And I said last week that the Red Devils had red faces after the match because they were walloped, they were destroyed, they were annihilated, they were disgraced, they were put on ground, they were rolled with red cap, with red carton. I don't know what to say. Man, you were disgraceful. We didn't know what to expect from Manchester United, having so much quality in them, having so much experience, and they could not do, anything against that side. Wow. Okay, so he's asking me. I said his name is Cucurella. That's his name. He has a Brazilian wig. He's playing for Chelsea, but he's even on the bench. He was signed for £65 million, from Brighton and Hove Albion to Chelsea. All right. Okay. Emeka Ederi is saying that Eddie Howe and De Zerbi and Thomas Frank are very good coaches. All right. So I'm going to be reading some of your comments right now. Wow. Quite a lot of comments. I want to welcome you again to Bowen Sports Arena as we go. All right. So let me read the comments now. I have Chukwemeka Onaji is saying that Chelsea signs anything that can kick the ball. Wow. Chelsea signs anything that can kick the ball. Okay. Minister Kachi said that they swear for Chelsea. Wow. I think so. That's what they're saying everywhere around the world, that they think that Abramovich has laid a curse, on Chelsea Football Club. All right. Okay. And I'll go again to Ediri said again, time when he scored 15 goals. Okay. Now, Gilenzo Charles is saying that yes, they have the capacity to reach top 4. All they need is coordination and effective training together as a team. Now, most of when you sign a lot of players, it takes time to blend. It takes a lot of time. Will they take 10 games in the season when they have lost 30 points to qualify or to get cohesion? That is the issue with Chelsea. You don't change a full team, in just one window. I feel it's a great mistake that Chelsea is making. Elijah Best said, give Chelsea time. Give Chelsea time. Wow. How much time do you need? They need half season, full season. Messi Rukegbe says, I am laughing at Chelsea. Okay. Benitari Daniel is saying that Chelsea brought too many players with a new coach. They will need time. That is what I'm trying to talk about now. In one window, 12 players, a new coach. It means you are not ready to win anything this season, because it really takes time to get players to gel, understand the coach's new mentality, how he wants them to play. All right, welcome on board, Mr. Chris, and also Godwin Oko said good evening. You're welcome again. Solomon Usifo says Chelsea not fit smell top 4. It is not possible. I think we're going to agree with you, but I feel after the 5th, 6th game of the season, we'll really know where Chelsea stands this season. Speaker Chris is laughing at the FA. Why would they rescind the red card given to Alexis McAllister? I feel, for me, I watched that game, I don't think it was a red card. With Abulus, welcome on board. He says they are just getting to know each other. Don't worry. I believe in my team. Chelsea will stand again. Blues for life. Bulus, we're not going to discourage you. I believe you believe in your team, but we'll see how far they will go this season. Don't forget, they have 5 more games to prove themselves. Do you think that Mauricio Pochettino will be the first managerial casualty this season when Chelsea don't win 15 games out of 20? We'll get there as we go. Target Devil says McAllister is a scammer. Okay, well, I feel that was not a red card, whether I like it or not. Benitari says good for Liverpool. They have their player back. Emele Chukwueke from Enugu is saying that my own is Arsenal is winning the Champions League and Premier League. Nothing concerning with Chelsea, but I think they will make top 4. All right, guys, we have something on board now. Emele just made a very bold statement. He's saying that Arsenal FC, who struggled yesterday, I'm going to come there, to beat their team that they played against, will win the Champions League and the Premier League. Do you think it's possible for Arsenal to win the Champions League and the Premier League? I feel Emele is having very lofty ambitions with what they saw last season. If they could not hold on to the end of the season to win the league, I don't know how far Arsenal will go this season. But in football, you say never. Anything is possible. Chris is saying that Chelsea are not prepared for what they will do. Okay, he is Edema Kyoto from Lagos is saying Liverpool FC for life. I know him. He's a full Liverpool supporter. Luis Diaz, to me, is one of the best attackers in the league. It's good to have him back. Yes, from Godwin Oko, I think I agree with that. I like this. Emmanuel Kitibi has replied to Emele Chukwueke. He said they play, just they play. With Champions League. I feel Champions League will be a very lofty ambition for the Arsenal side. I think to focus on winning the league first and seeing what comes next in the UEFA Champions League. All right, guys, let's go to the match between Tottenham. I'll go to read your comments later. Let's go to the match between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United. Now, Pape Metasa, 49-minute goal and 83rd-minute own goal from Lisandro Martinez gave Tottenham Hotspur 2-goal cushion, and they won that game against Manchester United. Now, in a game, to me, that had more yellow cards and more actions more than goals, it shows you how dismal, how terrible the Manchester side have been. Now, they are trying to change a whole lot of things. But I think, for me, the Man U coach is getting a lot of things wrong. Now, there's no way on earth I, as a coach, will start Garnacho, ahead of Sancho in that team. Now, he went with the same 11 that played the first game that managed to win 1-0 with a Varane header in that second game again. Now, the likes of everybody on the bench, like Casemiro, Mason Mount looks like a 65 million naira flop for now, for just 2 games, but you can't judge a player by just 2 or 3 or 4 games. Bruno Fernandes is struggling. The captain handbag is very hot and heavy on his hand. For me, Anthony and Leandro Garnacho should be on the bench. What do you think? I think Anthony is just a player. He reminds me before those days of a player called Tijani Babangida in the Nigerian national team. He can run, he can dribble, he can fly, but time to cross the ball, Tijani will play over. Anthony is like that. I feel he's an overrated player who still needs to learn the trades and the tricks of how good the English Premier League is. I will start Sancho any day. I will start Anthony Martial if he's very fit any day as regards to Anthony and Leandro Garnacho. Sancho on the left, Rashford on the right, and play Martial up front once he's fit. And I think you have a stronger Manchester United, team, but they lost that game. It was dismal. There's not much to say. In order that Spurs were very good, but Spurs need to replace Harry Kane. But I don't think they can really do that this season, because it's very hard to replace the likes of Harry Kane, the topmost goal scorer ever in the league season for Tottenham Hotspur. And to the big one, defending champions Manchester City hosted at the Etihad Stadium Newcastle United. Now, I think one of the names we should be calling this season of people who will do very well is Newcastle United. Young coach who knows his trade. They didn't buy all the best stars in the world. They bought according how they know they can play, and it has been an amazing rise for Eddie Howe and the Newcastle United side. And now they played very beautiful football, held Man City, to ransom at their home stadium. It was a beautiful goal from Alvarez, a young Argentine World Cup winner, who played that beautiful shot and rightfully passed the onlooking Newcastle United goalkeeper. And 31 minutes to play to go in that game. Man City got the winner, and that was how that game went. It was a tiki-taka affair. It was attack versus defense. It was attack versus counter-attack. Man City, they know how to hold on to the ball. They play Pep Guardiola's style of football. Pass me, pass. And that was how it was. But you had the likes of Sandro Tonali, Joel Linton, Avi Barnes, Bruno Guimaraes, and Alexander Isak in that game now, firing blanks, getting all yellow cards. That match had 6 yellow cards and had only 1 goal. And that was how Man City managed to hold on to that goal scored in the 31st minute and won that game against Newcastle United. I tell people any day, that is what champions are made of. We may not play well, we may not deliver, we may not play well, we may not pass our game very well, but at the end of it, we end up getting the result we need to forge ahead. And that was exactly what Manchester City did in the late kickoff on Saturday night, hosting Newcastle United and winning that game 1-0. And so it was on Sunday. We had beautiful matches now also that took place. Chelsea are coming for you, and Aston Villa took on Everton. We're coming for that. Also, let me go back to your comments now as we have them here. Jachi Elisha said Liverpool was good for me, just bad officiating, and some of the referee needs fines. I think I will agree with you, because now I was when he's back to England, and he is now the head of English referees, and they are looking at a lot of calls that the referees are making. A lot of things are going wrong with the VAR and some of the referees. Like the Arsenal match now, they are appealing the red card given to Takehiro Tomiyasu in the game yesterday. We'll see how that will pan out. All right. Welch is saying that Brighton just used Chelsea to cash out. I don't think so. They have good players who are what but they saw desperation in Chelsea, and you are right, they cashed out. Mike Eze Dogu said United will still finish above Arsenal. You can pin on that. Mike, I think you are not watching the same football we are watching. I don't know how you feel that United will finish above Arsenal this season, unless something drastic and terrible happens to the Arsenal. I don't know what we are seeing now. I don't think it's going to happen. S.A. Divine says Godswill should calm down. That Luis Diaz is good, but is also an injury-prone player. I think I will agree with that. Emeka didn't say Brighton team. They are very good, and De Zerbi is doing a very good job. I think so. There are young coaches now who I should give kudos to. De Zerbi of Brighton, the Howe of Newcastle, and the coach of what's the name again of that team now that played, away to Fulham FC. They are doing very, very, very. Thomas Frank. They are doing very, very, very good in that team. All right. Immediate Chukwueke is very sure that Arsenal will Champions League. Say, well, Emmanuel, just the watch with the ball, no wahala. Yeah, Kufi Hartman, welcome to the show. David King said Chelsea is spending too much on rubbish. I think I will agree with you, because too much spending can be bad for a team. Chelsea has spent close to £1 billion, and it looks like they're having nothing, to show for it. All right, okay. Vicky Owen said Liverpool is doing a good job, and I hope they continue with this spirit. All right, okay. Let's look at it again. All right, let's look at the game on the Newcastle. No, Aston Villa. Let's look at Aston Villa Everton. Now, something is obviously wrong with Everton. They had striker issues. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been like a player at his cost. He always is a very good striker. On the brink of making the English squad some time ago, he was injured, out for 7 months. He came back last season on the brink of scoring 10 goals. He was injured. He was injured during preseason, came back last weekend, played a good game. Last weekend, He played again. Now, not being led the wound. He jumped against the goalkeeper and they removed his jaw. Is something wrong with that player? If it's Nigeria, we will say he needs some level of prayers because we don't understand what's wrong with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And that same day, our own dear brother, Alex Iwobi, shining in preseason, doing very well, got his hamstring injured and he had to leave the pitch of play. Everton struggled against Aston Villa at home and they lost that game by 4-0. The new captain of Aston Villa, Alex McGinn, the Irish international, opened the scoring in the 18th minute, and Lewis also scored a penalty in the 24th minute, and Leandro Bailey 51 minutes, and Duran, a new signing too, in the 75th minute. Everton looked lost. They looked like they didn't know what they were doing. They were confused from beginning to the end of the game, and they kept blaming one another as the goals kept pumping in, and kept pumping in and kept pumping. But I would say we need to give kudos, to the coach of Aston Villa, the former Arsenal coach Unai Emery. He came into that squad now, has revitalized the Aston Villa side. He has changed them for the better. They are playing good football, and he has made some very amazing signings who people will not look out for, but they are very strong. I thought at one time Musa Diaby was coming to Arsenal, but he was able to see the vision and the future of what Aston Villa were selling to him, and he signed for Aston Villa, and you see what he has done in just 2 games for Aston Villa playing under Unai Emery. Aston Villa defeated Everton by 4-0. I'll be coming up to your messages very soon as we begin to grow deeper and deeper in this amazing analysis. All right, now to the most depressing game of last weekend. West Ham United at the English Football Stadium hosted Chelsea FC. Now, listen very, very carefully. Okay? Chelsea. Robert Sanchez, new sign. Alex Diasisi, new sign. Levi Cowie, new sign. All right? Enzo Fernandez, 1.5 new sign. Malo Gusto, new sign. Kani Chukwuemeka, new sign. Nicholas Jackson, new sign. How many have I called? 7. Am I right? 7 players out of the 11 players that started the game for Chelsea against Newcastle United were all new signs. Now, it means that only Thiago Silva, Conor Gallagher, Ryan Sterling, Ben Chilwell, and Enzo Fernandez were the old signings in that team who had just spent 1 season or more. So having a team filled with relatively new players who do not understand the English game yet, going to a place like the London Stadium to play against West Ham United can be very demanding and very, very tasking. So we saw that the Chelsea side came on the pitch, they were incoherent. They didn't know what they were doing. The passes were wrong from day one, from the beginning. Jackson was running left and center like a pig that don't know where he's going to. No passing coming. I saw Ryan Sterling for the first time confused. Though he made some very beautiful runs in that team, Chelsea's midfield was not there because Enzo Fernandez playing with Conor Gallagher, with Malo Gusto, did not know what to do. They couldn't make passes. I feel Chelsea is missing a beautiful number 10. A player who can see through, who can make passes. Now when you check a lot of the big teams, they have solid number 10s. You check for Manchester City, you have Kevin De Bruyne, who can do that. You have Phil Foden, who can do that. You check for Arsenal, you have Martin Odegaard, who can do that. You have Leandro Trossard, who can make good passes. You check for Manchester United, as bad as they have their captain, Fernandez, who can make passes. You have Eriksen from the bench, who can make passes. But you even look at the team of West Ham. They bought James Ward-Prowse, who has an eye for beautiful passes, beautiful corners, beautiful free kick. But check for Chelsea on the team that day. Who do you think is a perfect number 10 that has an eye for passes that can split through defenses? We can't find that. Even on the bench, Chelsea has players who can run. Don't forget, last season they picked Arsenal and paid Arsenal Ojoro to buy Mikhailo Mudryk. Now see what Chelsea does. You want to buy a player for £10 million. Chelsea will call the player and say, we will pay you times 2 of what Arsenal will pay you. And call the club and say, we will give you £40 million. Every club wants to make money. And you go, every player as much as they love football, want to also make money. And Mikhailo Mudryk, in 48 hours, changed his mind, betrayed his friend, his left foot friend, Alexander Zinchenko, and went to Chelsea. He has been on the bench 1 minute for about 19 million pounds. He came in that game. Moise Caicedo, coming there from Brighton. Noni Madueke, and what? Maron Bustro. There is no number 10. Chelsea doesn't have that. I saw some good runs from Nicolas Jackson that day, but nobody to pass the ball. They have good wingers, maybe solid defenders, Marshall, by Thiago Silva, but Chelsea is lacking cutting edge in the midfield to play passes. Now, they bought Romo Lavia, they bought Enzo Fernandez, now they have Moise Caicedo, and they are all shouting, we have the best midfield in the league. These are three defensive-minded midfielders. Who is your number 10, Chelsea? We don't have it. And we saw it that day, in that match against West Ham United. And the man of the moment, just bought for 15 million pounds, James Ward-Prowse, former captain of Southampton United, who started that match now, had 2 assists. The first corner was amazing. Pinpoint corner from the crossing, direct to the header. They could not defend against that. The second goal also was like that, also from James Ward-Prowse. Second goal that was scored, by Mikel Antonio. What a shot. What a thunderbolt. What an amazing goal. He bullied through the Chelsea defense and scored that beautiful goal. Mikel Antonio scored, and James Ward-Prowse had 2 assists in that game. And the last goal came from Lucas Paqueta. Don't forget, he was also signed for Manchester City for 80 million pounds, but something happened as regards betting allegations, and Man City has pulled out from that decision today. So Lucas Paqueta is staying back at West Ham. In the 67th minute, there was a red card given to Naif Aguerd, a new signing for West Ham, who scored the opening goal, was sent off for a second yellow offense in the 67th minute. And also, Chelsea was given a lifeline to make it 1-1 in the 43rd minute, and Enzo Fernandez, 95 million pounds signed, 100 million pounds signed, missed the penalty. He played a back pass, and the goalkeeper saved it. And that was how it was. So we tagged on Sunday a bad night for 100 million plus defenders. Enzo Fernandez, 100 million pounds, missed a penalty, didn't play well. Moise Caicedo, most expensive signing in England, 115 million, came in and gave away the penalty. And at the end of the match, he was kneeling down, he was praying to the grass. I don't know if he was eating the grass, he was crying. And that night I showed you a video. When he got home, he was knocked by his mother. I said, what's going on? How did you play that in the first game? So West Ham United defeated, demolished, disgraced Chelsea by 3-1. Chelsea are in deep trouble. Do you think they can bounce back? And I'm seeing a lot of guys now talking about the year, and they think that Chelsea, will do a very, very, very good job. Let's read some of your comments. I will come back to the game that happened on Monday. Yeah, FOA says it was a true disgrace, for Chelsea. Omar is saying that Man U to the world, even though we played rubbish, but Man U to the world. Stephen Akpobo says heavy disgrace, for Chelsea. And Messi is saying that please leave my Chelsea alone. If Chelsea had a chance, they would have signed me. Wow. Chelsea. There's a player called FOA Iluebe. Said he can play. That if you had a chance, you can come and sign him. Alright. Now Mike is saying that Arsenal will be battered in the Champions League and they will crumble in the Premier League because they don't have the mentality to sustain long pressure. Now, that is one issue that Arsenal had 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago. But I don't think now, Mike, that is the issue Arsenal has. Yes, you can say they crumbled last season for about 5 matches to go, but I think it's because of squad depth and not mentality anymore. I also feel it's because of the bench. Now, Arsenal of before would even go as far as that this season. Arsenal of before, in their game yesterday against Crystal Palace, they will concede a goal in the 91st minute and get that game to be 1-1. But I think Arteta is instilling a new kind of spirit and a mindset to the Arsenal side. We'll talk about that shortly as we go. Alright, well, he's saying Man U was just in shambles. According to your word, football just happened. Alright, Chidi Christiana said Chelsea to the world. Emmanuel says Onana should go about, he will be tired. I think Man U and their defense now are shaking and to give the goalkeeper big trouble. Mana Treasure from Lagos said Chelsea, is it a drink or is it a club? Wow, that's savage from Umana Chelsea, Umana Treasure from Lagos. A Mobo Okemen said, honestly, I'm surprised that Mitoma is still in Brighton. Yes, I'm shocked. And all football pundits around the world are still shouting, how can Karu Mitoma still be at that club? He should now play for one of the big clubs. I personally think Arsenal should get that guy to be a backup, to Bukayo Saka. All right? Okay, and let's go down. Wow, we have lots and lots of comments. I'm going to read everyone today as we go. All right. Essay is saying that Mr. Mike, I don't think Manchester United will go far. Let's be sincere to your own self. Everybody fighting for Chelsea. They need time. They need time. How much time do they need? Somebody said, Mary Jane said, football things, Chelsea, not serious at all. All right. So we'll look at that now. I think what we are seeing here now, many persons except Chelsea fans do not believe that Chelsea will go that far, this season. That's what we're having as an issue. Mike again saying that Arsenal will win the Champions League. He said, who will they sacrifice to win the Champions League? It's a very, very lofty ambition for Arsenal, because Akpan Kufre said Arsenal win the Champions League is a daydream up Barcelona, for that. All right? I'm going to be coming back down to all your stuff as we go also. Wow, so much comment, taking place. Now, I want to read something from Omombolaji Olaniran. He's saying, the beauty of the Premier League is that you can never predict which team will impress or flop in the early stages. We can only cheer on our teams and hope they make us proud. Beautiful comment now coming from Omombolaji Olaniran. Duke TV is saying the result is all that still matters, no matter what. Emmanuel says Chelsea needs a good coach, not new players. Give them some time. Wow. They need to be focused. Now, Emmanuel, are you saying that Mauricio Pochettino, who took Spurs to the Champions League final, who just finished coaching PSG with Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe, is not good for Chelsea? Wow. I don't know if I'm going to agree with you on that, and also if the Chelsea fans will agree on that. He was celebrated to go one of the best coaches in Europe at the time. All right, so let's see how it goes. Okay, Emmanuel Ediri said Dominic Calvert-Lewin is good, but his foundation, his ancestors are after him. I think so, because beautiful striker, but he always gets injured, per time. Tobias Eze says, don't give up on Chelsea. We will shock everyone. Are you not shocked, sir? With all the signs they are making, is Chelsea really doing well? We don't know about that. All right. Elijah Best said, any small injury, what's going on with Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Yes, I like this comment. Unai Emery is making Villa enjoy playing football right now. Yes, I like that comment from Bintare Daniel. Beautiful, and I agree with you. Moses Onome is saying everything will tell at the end of the season. Connie Chukwemeka was there last season. What a shame. He got injured. All right. So many comments. I'm going to come back to you as we go. All right. Let's look at the game that happened on Monday. They call it Monday Night Football. Arsenal FC, who came second last season, narrowly losing the league title to Manchester City, went away to Sell Hotspur to face Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is like one team, also like Brighton FC. No many stars, but they're a very formidable side when you get to play them at home. Not a big team, but small stadium, but very hard to win. They brought back their old coach again and to see how they can go. And it was frantic from the get-go. Arsenal saw that this game was not going to be very easy, as they went on in that game. And my issue now with the Arsenal side is with Mikel Arteta. You are trying to go for the league. Why are you making so much changes to your squad? Is making Arsenal experiment too much. Now I'll give you an example. All right, Takehiro Tomiyasu is a right-footed player who was bought to play right back. Alexander Zinchenko was on the bench yesterday. Tomiyasu started the match. William Saliba and Ben White started in the midfield, and Thomas Partey right back. My question is, what is Thomas Partey doing at right back? And you left Gabriel Magalhaes on the bench. So you see, a man to play the defensive midfield is a right back. A right back is a left back. The man who played right back all through last season was now in the midfield. And your best defender, or second best defender last season, in the person of Gabriel Magalhaes, was on the bench. And you saw how Arsenal struggled in that game because you play players off position. Now, Thomas Partey was always in the midfield, leaving the right full back position, and you saw what Andre Ayew, the Ghanaian international, was doing against the Arsenal side. Beautiful players. Now we have some very beautiful African players playing their trades now, for Crystal Palace. Geoffrey Slump from Ghana, Ebrechi Eze, Nigeria, Chek Omada Kore, I think Ivory Coast. You have Maguire, he wants to play for Nigeria and England, but he doesn't know where he's playing yet. And Andre Ayew from Ghana. These are players who are very skillful, who know what they are doing. And Arsenal saw win in that first half, and it was 0-0, and they had to go back and reconsider how to play. But Mikel Arteta, he can be very stubborn. He came back with the same formation, and Arsenal had to rely on a penalty that was given in the 53rd minute. Now, very smart one from the Arsenal side. Crystal Palace were caught off guard. They were caught off guard in that match, that day. And there was a quick pass, they didn't see it, and the goalkeeper had no choice but to foul, the Arsenal player. And that was what led to the, penalty. Now, the penalty taker for Arsenal side is Bukayo Saka. I think yesterday I saw something beautiful from Arsenal side. The goalkeeper obviously would have watched games and studied the penalty taker for Arsenal. But while he was waiting, he thought that Saka was going to take that penalty, and he was shocked to see that 5 seconds to penalty kick, Martin Odegaard took the ball, placed in the penalty spot, and slotted him a very beautiful and calm penalty to give Arsenal the lead in the 53rd minute. But Arsenal still struggled. They couldn't score a second goal. They kept on struggling. That game was very hard for the Arsenal side. And inevitably, because the laws have changed in England, you delay now, you waste time, there will be added more time, and you're going to be having lots of yellow cards. Tomiyasu took 10 seconds to take a throw-in, and he was given a yellow card in the 60th minute. And he had a very bad tackle 7 minutes later, and he was given a second yellow and sent off that game. Arsenal had to play the remaining 30 minutes with 10 men. And that was where I'm going to talk about Arsenal's new mindset. Arsenal of last season, of last 2 seasons, I can assure you, they will either lose that game to Crystal Palace or draw. But we saw defensive astuteness from the Arsenal side. I also saw some very beautiful changes that was made, by Mikel Arteta. Arsenal is growing, the team is growing, the coach is growing, but their performances in the first 2 games of the season have not been very, very good, I must say. Now, what do you think about the Arsenal? Like everybody is saying, now, do you think the Arsenal will have the opportunity to go all the way to rival and fight with Manchester City or any other team this season to see if they can win the English Premier League? Now, what's your take on the signing of Kai Havertz? I felt it was also going to be in that match yesterday after the red card was given, but somewhere the coach really, really trusts the German player who looks lazy in Chelsea, but not looking very strong in Arsenal side. He ran that whole pitch. He was defending, he was attacking, he was running. When they made changes, took off Saka, took off Martinelli. I thought by now he should take off Havertz, but he played the full 94 minutes. Kai Havertz, people didn't believe that he would do very well in Arsenal. So far, so good. He has not scored any goal, but he's making up the numbers and making Arsenal have a very strong bench. And Arsenal said yesterday that they won that game for their injured new signing, Julian Timber, who got injured in his first match for Arsenal, and now he might be out for a very, 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 very long time. All right, guys, and that was it on the English Premier League. I will run through some comments again and also run through some just short, results of other games that took place in the Spanish La Liga, Italian Serie A, and the German Bundesliga. Harry Kane is back among the goals again. He left England to Germany, and they thought he's finished. The German machine is beginning to rival again. The England captain is back scoring goals for Bayern Munich. I'm coming back now. All right. Emmanuel is saying here that Pochettino was with Tottenham, then PSG, now Chelsea. A wise coach does not go around buying and also selling and selling. No time, no spine. Amazing thought. Now, Chelsea let go 11 players. 11 players. 11, a full squad. N'Golo Kante, and the list goes on. Now, they let go 2 goalkeepers. How do you let go your 2 senior goalkeepers in one window and buy 2 fresh goalkeepers? You let go Kepa Arrizabalaga. That name is an amazing name. Kepa Arrizabalaga. You let go, your Benjamin Mendy. He has gone to the Arab world. N'Golo Kante left from Chelsea. Loftus-Cheek left from Chelsea. The list Pulisic left from Chelsea. A lot of senior players, some in their prime, some in their 30s, some in their 20s, and you let them go because you need a new. So I agree with Emmanuel saying Chelsea has no spine. All right, Jachi Elijah is saying, I beg, make we leave Chelsea. All this wahala is because they lost to West Ham when they have more losses to make. Wow. So Elijah is saying that Chelsea will lose more games this season. All right. Okay. Emmanuel says Pochettino that almost lost the league with PSG. I think I agree. Essie is saying that you are saying that you check the records, but he won no trophies with PSG. He took Spurs. Yes, he won trophies with PSG. He took Spurs to the Champions League final. So he's a good coach. I agree with you on that also. Okay. All right. Now Emeka Neji is saying that I don't think Pochettino is the one buying. I think it is more about Bowley. Yes, the Chelsea owner imposing his buys on the coach, and you don't know to which extent the coach has control. Now, this has posed lots of issues in football over the years. When you have a football director, you have a very rich, owner. They don't care about the coach. Once they dream and wake up and they like this player, they buy him. The coach should now find a way to fit him into the team. I think that is the issue. Beautiful thing from Edini here says Mitoma and Cisco should still stay this season. I agree, because I think if they leave, Brighton will struggle. Gus Wiloko said Anthony is a joker. Players who make new hair every season. Last season it was black. This season is now white. They play more on their hair than play more on the pitch. And Anthony is one of that. I don't understand that. Choma Bana from Port Harcourt says Arsenal will make it to the final. Let's hope and see. We'll see how that goes. Elijah said everybody is against Chelsea. Let Chelsea breathe. I think Chelsea, they will breathe tonight. Okay, let's go down now. We have Praise George. We have Charles Gilenzo. We have Angela Ella. He's saying Chelsea will be at it again. Yes. Now Emmanuel says Arteta is playing with himself. I think so too. Playing Partey at right back on number 2 is an unnecessary experiment. I agree. Even Arsenal fans in UK that I've spoken with are saying the same thing. Why experiment with that? Play Ben White at right back. Play Tomiyasu at right back. What are you doing with the left-footed Zinchenko and the other lad now is always almost injured now? Which I agree. Tierney is there. You have players you can play with. At least if it's bad, Meganes can also play left back. Saka started playing for Arsenal at left back during Unai Emery's time. So that is a very unnecessary. But you see, if Partey comes back to the midfield, somebody has to drop. You can't drop Declan Rice, who you signed for £105 million. You can't drop Kai Havertz, who you signed for £75 million. So that is why, to give the team a stronger outlook, if you check when Arsenal is transiting forward, they have 3 defenders. What's his name again? Now the Ghanaian player goes to the midfield. So there are a lot of things that Arsenal is looking at. Having more players in the midfield to help you tackle and hold the ball is what he's looking at. Erin Uchenna Kisi said, what do we have to say as regards Liverpool match on Saturday? And the red card that was given to McAllister. Yes, good news for you, Kingsley. The red card given to McAllister has been rescinded, has been cancelled, so you'll be available for the next match, all right? Dante Big Teza says Arsenal have a phobia for winning leagues. It is their stock in trade. So Arsenal needs to hear that now from Dante Big Teza and break that jinx this season. At least win the Premier League or win something else, Champions League. Now Emeka Dinu says yes. Arteta is copying his boss Pep Guardiola. I think I agree. Taking John Stones to play in the midfield. Liverpool is also following that place now, taking Alexander Arnold also playing in the midfield. All right. Okay, Elijah is saying, according to the Bible, can anything good come out of Chelsea? I think so, it can possible. Radio God says Elijah Best, never. And it's not me speaking out of sentiment. I just know Chelsea are just loud for loud's sake. They can't do anything. Wow. Something is really up with the Chelsea side. Gift Ufo from Warri says Arsenal still can't match the technical depth of Man City, but we will see how far will fare this season. That's from the heart of an Arsenal fan also. Gilenzo is saying Mount left also. Yes, he left from Chelsea too. Chomokpa said, I believe Arsenal has learned their lesson from last season and they can go far, this season. So much for your comments. I'll back to just the very few that is left as we go. Okay, now let's run through other leagues that took place now in Europe. The Spanish La Liga also began on Friday night with Mallorca losing at home to Villarreal and Valencia also winning at home to Las Palmas. But the talk of the day for Friday night football was Werder Bremen hosting Bayern Munchen. And you have the likes of Harry Kane, who left Tottenham Hotspur, and they said he's going to be finished, he can't do anything. How will the England top goal scorer, the England captain, leave England and play in Germany? The man wants to win trophies. And that day, we saw Harry Kane on fire. Don't forget, he doesn't just score goals now, he makes assists. What do you think of Harry Kane? Will he succeed in Germany? We know Bayern Munich are almost assured of winning the league title every season in Germany. But what Harry Kane is looking at is European glory, the Champions League. Now, Harry Kane started that game with other players who have played in England before, the likes of Leroy Sané and others. Now, in the 4th minute of play, Harry Kane did what he knows how to do best. He gave an assist from the middle of the field, the pitch now to Sané, who ran almost 40 yards and slotted home past the goalkeeper for Werder Bremen in the 4th minute, and that was the first goal. And they had to wait till the 74th minute of that game now for a beautiful pass from Davies, the Canadian international, to Harry Kane. And trust what he can do when he faces goal. Harry Kane almost does not miss, and he slotted in his first goal now of many we suspect now for Bayern Munchen. In the 74th minute, Harry Kane scored that goal, and also Sané scored the 3rd goal in the 90th minute, and Tell got the 4th goal in the 94th minute. Harry Kane is unsung, back on track, scoring goals like he always does in England, for Bayern Munich. Amazing game took place that day, and I'm going to run through other games now without putting much emphasis on that. On Saturday, La Liga, Real Sociedad played the 1-1 draw with Celta Vigo, and Maria hosted Real Madrid, and Real Madrid won away by 3-1. Osasuna 0, Athletic Bilbao 2. Now, let's stay on Real Madrid. Okay, Real Madrid now, they've lost Benzema, they've lost Ronaldo, they've lost Thibaut Courtois, their goalkeeper. He will be out for almost 9 months this season. They had to buy Kepa Arrizabalaga, in that game. Now, a young boy called Jude Bellingham, an English player, was bought for 100 million euros from Borussia Dortmund. He said it in his pre-match post that I dream of playing for Madrid. Man U were after him, Man City were after him, Liverpool were after him, Chelsea were after him. He said he's not going there, that his boyhood dream was to play for Real Madrid. And young boy is unsung and on fire for Real Madrid. Jude Bellingham has scored 3 goals in 2 games now for the Galactico Real Madrid. He opened the scoring for Madrid to get the equalizer in 19th minute, and he scored the 2nd goal in the 60th minute, and also gave the assist for Vinicius Junior to score the 3rd goal in the 73rd minute. That boy looks like the real deal. He has just been there for less than 3 weeks, and he looks like the main man right now in the absence of very big names of Madrid. He's taking the shine of Vinicius Junior. He's a typical number 10 playing just in front of the 2 strikers, and is a money well spent. Jude Bellingham scoring 2 goals and making 1 assist for Real Madrid. And on that same day, his younger brother, Junior Bellingham, was scoring in Division 2 for England. What an amazing family, of football. The league in Spain is always going to be between Madrid, and Barcelona. On that Saturday, our Nigerian international, Victor Osimhen, was unsung, scoring his first 2 goals of the season when Napoli went away to defeat Frosinone by 3-1. Inter Milan won against Monza by 2-0. Fiorentina defeated Genoa by 4-1. Victor Osimhen refused to go to the Arab League to earn lots of money. He said he wants to stay back, in Italy and play for Napoli and score more goals and become a legend. But don't forget, he is already a legend now. If you are Victor Osimhen's brother, I want to see your comments. They called your brother that scored goals come and play for 5 years. He is just 23 years old. 5 years in Arab League to be earning 985 million dollars every week. Let me go again. In case you don't hear me well. 985 million naira, yes, almost 1 billion every week. Osimhen said he's not going, that he wants to play football in Italy. What do you think about that call? Because it caused divisions everywhere in the footballing world, in Nigeria, in Europe, and everywhere. They said, okay, you can go to the Arab League, earn a lot of money, play with Ronaldo and the rest of them, Benzema, score lots of goals. At your peak, at 28, just like Odio Igalo, you can come back to Europe and play football again. You have made a lot of money that can settle your family to your fourth generation. But he said that football is not all about money. I don't think I agree with that as a Nigerian, as a former footballer, even if I play in secondary school. You don't tell me that to earn almost 1 billion naira, you said no every week for 5 years. I think when you punch in the numbers, you understand what Victor Osimhen just sacrificed to stay back and play in Europe. Many players believe that yes, no matter what I say, the Arab League will not be as popular, as great as the European leagues. But people are saying it is now the next destination for players, because players now in their prime, in their 25th years, in their 26 years, 27 years, 28 years, are now going over that way, and they just need television contracts to be signed, and you will see the Arab League growing very well. Victor Osimhen did not come to do that. All right, somebody now our group here is buzzing. People are angry. Diri is saying, yeah, as I said, that Bellingham is the next big thing to happen in football, and I think so. If you consider like this, we might end up seeing Bellingham in the top 3 for the Ballon d'Or, next year. All right. Edwin said yes, Jude Bellingham, Real Madrid legend in the making. People can say Jude Bellingham can't do much at Real Madrid. Wow, he's just initial busybody. Are you sure about that? Okay, Emmanuel said Bellingham playing with some of the best young players now. I agree with that. Edwin said Osimhen is a beast. He's a very good striker. 2 goals now already in his first game. Now, Emmanuel said Osimhen made a big mistake. Oh, somebody said Osimhen did not use wisdom in pidgin. I don't want to say that word there. Nessie B said that boy is not wise. Daniel Juku said Forza Milan or Inter Milan. Yes, beautiful for you. Osimhen isn't serious. He says, last, money is what matters. I don't know what he was thinking by not going to the Arab League. Okeme Mobo says Osimhen wasn't wise. Emmanuel says, na me go pack in load almost $1 billion every week. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His family, they didn't say anything about it. The press did not say anything about it. So they left it for him to decide by himself, and it's looking like that he will stay fully in that season. Favor Kaki said, I think the familiar spirit that's following Osimhen. All right, and Elijah Best said, I don't know what he wants to use that word legend for. They know they chop legend. Actually, you chop money. That's why I like. There's a young boy in Chelsea many years ago. I think the very first player who left Chelsea, to go to the Chinese league at that time, it was called, I'm forgetting his name now. The first player, if I can remember, I'll tell you. When they asked him, why did you leave Chelsea at 26 to go to China to play for Wunshen and Wan? He said, when I was young, growing up in Brazil, my mother had no food to give us. My father was poor. My younger ones are poor. Football was the only way out of poverty for me and my family. And when the Chinese came calling, thank you very much. His name is Oscar. When the Chinese league came calling, I did not remember anything about the Premier League of football. All I remember was I am here playing football to bring my family out of poverty. Oscar at that time was earning £1 million per month, and that would change his whole generation. Oscar never came back to Europe. He still plays in China. Osimhen, be wise. All right, but beautiful goals is scored again. 2 goals in that game now against Frosinone, and amazing time for the Nigerian striker. I feel he's still very young. He feels he has age on his side. That is why he's playing, that way. And on Sunday, don't forget also the Women's World Cup took place on Sunday. England were heartbroken. The women of England were heartbroken. They were crying. They were weeping because they thought this is their season. They were about to become the first female team ever that will win the European Cup and win the World Cup after Spain did it with the men. But the Spanish side were good. They won that game on Sunday morning by 10 a.m. 1-0, and that was how that match ended. Barcelona were unsung also, on Sunday evening as they played against Cadiz, in the Spanish La Liga. We had that match now. Barcelona playing 2-0 against that side, but Pedri and Ferran Torres, scored those goals. Barcelona are looking relatively not bad, with the likes of Lewandowski still struggling to pick up the goals, and the coach is finding out his new formation. And don't forget that day, Frank de Jong played as centre back. So Barcelona has struggled with a lot of injuries. You can't play in number 10, play in number 5. And there's Christensen, Jules Koundé, Balde were in that match now. The signings of Ike Gundogan, yes, brought in a little bit of flair, experience to that Barcelona team that played with Oriol Romeu, but Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, and Pedri up front. Yes, you could say any day, anytime, the Barcelona side, with the amount of players they have, will always overpower the Cadiz side, at the Barcelona stadium. That was how they won that match. Mourinho is struggling with AS Roma. I don't know what the issue is. They played a 2-2 draw with Salernitana, Sassuolo 0, Atalanta 2, Juventus 3, Udinese 0, and Lazio, 1, Lecce, 2, and PSG is also in the limelight. Kylian Mbappe is back. Don't forget, he had issues and crises with the PSG hierarchy. He didn't want to go to the Arab League. He collected £66 million as severance package for keeping to his contract that ended in July 31st. Now, and they said if Mbappe does not leave, he will never play again for PSG in the remaining 1 year of his contract. And that was what it looked like. But suddenly there was a meeting that took place now between Kylian Mbappe and the hierarchy, at PSG, and they had to call him back. Kylian Mbappe is back in training, is back, playing, for Paris Saint-Germain again. Now, what is going to be the end point for Kylian Mbappe? Do you think he's going to renew his contract, with, the League One side? I am not sure. I don't think so. But I think he wants to just please them, play the last games he has to play, and then leave on a free. Paris Saint-Germain struggling, playing a 1-1 draw with Toulouse, in that game. Shockingly. Kylian Mbappe scored the 62nd minute penalty. In his first game back after fighting with PSG, he salvaged a point for PSG that night, and he's back playing again. But I think this is last season. He has played his best for PSG. He should let him go to his boyhood club, Real Madrid. So imagine next season seeing Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Jude Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Camavinga. Madrid is building something for the next 6 years in advance, and they might dominate Europe again as they go. That is it for beautiful football in action that took place over the whole weekend. I will end this show right now with reading your comments and saying thank you to you. Give to Four says, now Juju the Warrior Seaman, familiar spirit and familiarized with him. Wow. All right. Tunde Sarumi from Warri says, Sada young man is proving his passion for what he loves to do the most. The guy is not a money monger. Wow. Okay. Oscar was a very wise guy, like going to China. Mensino Moyeke says, wisdom one choke Oscar. I'm telling you the truth, money is very, 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 very important. Oh, Kitby Manuel, he said, go to Saudi and return. Pack money and come back after 2 years. All right. Now, as I said, I feel Osimhen should head to Saudi when he is 29 years old. The issue that is, are you sure he will still be scoring goals left, right, center when he is 29 years old? Benzema goes there at 33. We understand. Best player in the world. Ronaldo, arguably the best player in the world. Other players who are going there have proven themselves strong. Neymar have won everything he could win with Barcelona and PSG. So Osimhen has just won one Scudetto. with Napoli. So what do you think? 29 years old, do you think he'll still be playing very good for that time? All right. Elijah Best. Oh, thank you very much. He said he's wondering how I pronounce the Chinese names. I've been in this football business for a very, very long time, and it's what we do. We enjoy talking to you about football and sports in general. Mbappe sure wants to go to Real Madrid. No, PSG knows that already. That he's playing tricks, refused to sign a new contract, plays down his own 1 year, and don't forget, in January, in 5 months' time, Kylian Mbappe is free to discuss contracts and discuss terms with any club side on earth he wants to. What they call a pre-contract agreement. And we all know he will do that with Real Madrid unless Chelsea will offer him money. Unless Man City can come after him. But I don't think so. I think his heart is set on going to Real Madrid, and that is what it will be. Wow. So much so for your comments tonight. It has been an awesome journey with you. I enjoyed my time with all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, don't forget, there are little games taking place. Champions League qualification is back again. Premiers are taking place, and like right now, as we speak now, Champions League qualification is taking place. I just want you those games now. Rakau Shekshchowa is playing against FC Copenhagen of Denmark, and they're losing at home by 1-0. Rangers FC is playing against Ruud van Nistelrooy, coach of that team now, former Man United striker, is playing against Rangers, and they're losing away in Scotland 1-0. Royal Antwerp of Belgium is playing AEK Athens of Greece. These are Champions League qualification. If you qualify here after 2 legs, you can now make it to the group stages of the Champions League. Tomorrow, there will be also games. Maccabi Haifa of Israel taking Young Boys. Also Molde, of Norway will be hosting Galatasaray of Turkey. SC Braga will be hosting Panathinaikos of Greece. Those are the beautiful games that are taking place in Europe, this season. Amazing time with you. I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget, follow me on Facebook at Bowe Sports Arena, and subscribe right down on your screen now to our YouTube channel on Bowe Sports Arena. Don't forget also, please share the link to your friends to watch and tell them something is cooking, something is on board, and soon we will be entering different dimensions of deep and in-depth football analysis on Bowe Sports Arena. I will see you again next week, Tuesday, by 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Join me and let's talk football. Till we meet again, thank you so much and have a lovely night. That's what I really can.